I'm a Brit. I know that BMW has taken over Mini, and over the years we've seen innovations. This new class of Mini, can you discuss it a little with us? The ones that are
Absolutely.
here?
Yeah, we're excited to show the new Randy Clements from Mini USA, responsible for product and after sales.
I'm Rob Duda with the Mini PR team.
Beautiful. So we're highlighting the new Life Cycle Impulse here, the model year 19 Minis. So fresh new colors and fresh new LED headlights and taillights, and also great new connected technology inside the car. Real-time traffic updates, driver assist technology, accident notification, concierge service, state of the art.
Well, they look amazing. Are there any body style modifications at all?
Not at this time, no. No, so the body is carried over. Very classic design, iconic design. We're just keeping it fresh with new colors and new wheels, some new interior treatments as well.
Now, I'm curious, do you think because you don't change the body style, the older Minis hold their value better?
That's a really great question. I'm not sure.
Because I know for quite a while, Range Rover didn't change their body style, and that somewhat kept values pretty high. But once you start changing body styles, then people can see the old versus the new.
Well, Mini is a kind of an iconic design. Even if you go back into the 60s, the design cues are always carried forward. So I think you'd always be able to identify a Mini regardless.
What's the price? Are you increasing the price at all, or what's the new price of the Mini?
The new pricing has just been
affordable?
released. They're very affordable. As a matter of fact, we've introduced a new trim level. So we have 3 different tiers. We'll call it low, mid, and high, if you will. And the packaging of the car actually makes it more affordable for model year 19 than it was even in model year 18.
I have a question for you concerning the demographic. I notice Mini seems to have a very diverse customer loyalty group. You see young people driving them, you see old people driving them. What do you think attracts people to the Mini in general?
I think the number one reason customers buy a Mini, they tell us, is it's fun to drive. So if you're young or old, female or male, if you love to drive, then you'll be attracted to a Mini. And that's what I mean. If you just get in a car to go and you don't care about how it drives, then Mini might not be for you. But if you love being connected to the car and feeling the corners and getting the feedback, then it's a brand that you would fall in love with.
We're also one of the few automakers left that still offers a manual transmission in almost every variant of the vehicle, and people take them. You know, people come out looking to really enjoy that part of the drive and have that control.
Yeah, and to that point, we have 3 different engines, and the more horsepower you opt for, the more the take rate of the manual increases. So again, you want to be feeling the car, in control of the power, and enjoying the drive. So.
And it's a 6-speed?
It is, yep.
And you pull the hood down, or is it an automatic hood?
The
convertible?
Yeah, the convertible.
The convertible is electric.
It's electric hood.
Yeah, electric roof, yes. Yep.
That's nice. So you're thinking of all the luxury features. Beautiful car.
Well, thanks a lot.
No, pleasure. Yep.
Enjoy this a lot.
You're listening to the UnCommonCore podcast.
Hi there, we're with Chris Meyer at NJ Exotic Spotters. Glad seeing you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You have your own YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I have a Flickr page. I do videos and photos. This year I'm concentrating more on photos, just trying to capture all the amazing cars here to New York Auto Show. The new Rimac. I think
The Rimac?
Yeah. I'm not even sure what the name of it is yet. It's the first time I've seen it.
It's a super exotic car. They have these borders around, so no one can get up close to it unless you're special or something.
Right, yeah.
I guess, right?
You got deep pockets, probably.
So you guys are like positioning your gear in front of this. So you're going to go in and interview the guys?
I'm going to try to get in, see if I can get some more close-up shots. See what I can do.
Chris, you were mentioning that the price point on this particular car is?
I believe it's 1.3 million.
1.3 million. It seems like you could buy a lot of other cars for 1.3 million. What would you buy?
I'm a huge fan of the Koenigsegg's, which is right behind you over there, which that's about the same price point. So that's actually even, I think, more. That one's probably $2 million. But if I had that kind of money, I might have one of each. Who knows?
No, that second, your first choice would not be an electric car.
Probably not. No, I've never driven an electric car. Maybe if I get a chance to experience it someday, that might change my mind.
What's your YouTube channel going to focus on for this auto show? Is it going to be these exotic cars mostly, or just
Yeah, mostly the exotics. Some of the new muscle cars and stuff. Me personally, I'm a fan. I drive a Dodge Challenger, so I'm a fan of the Dodge booth over there.
Well, last year it was the Demon came out, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this year it's not. Is there anything like that this year? I guess there's.
They have the Hellcat wide body.
Yeah.
Looks very similar to the Demon. Has the Hellcat power.
So, what's your YouTube channel? I mean, what's the address?
NJ Exotic Spotters. If you just go on YouTube, search that, it'll bring you right to my channel.
Is it all about cars?
It's all about cars. Yep.
Oh yeah. Do you just do talk? What do you kind of things do you talk about on the channel? Is it
To be honest with you, I don't really do the talking. I
Oh.
just kind of give people who can't make it to shows, like, I'm their eyes, you know, so
okay.
they kind of get up close and personal with the cars. You know, that's why I'm here on the press days, that hopefully can get some closer access and
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
just get.
Now, I'm curious. I know that exotic cars, of course, attract a certain young mindset generally. I'm curious, do you actually have a large subscription base for your channel?
Actually, no. I think I have about 2,000 subscribers, which is very small in the YouTube world. But I mean, it's more of like it's more of a hobby, you know, more of a passion, you know.
Right.
Like I said, this year I'm mainly focusing on the photography aspect of it. You know, it's tough carrying all the gear and switching back
but
and
it's
forth.
fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Now, when you're coming to a show of this size, there's so many cars to take photographs of. How many cars do you think you're going to take photographs of and then put onto the site?
I'll probably. Ooh, that's a tough call. Probably
A wrong guess.
maybe about 100, 200.
Really?
Yeah, I usually try to get multiple shots of, like, this car, get the head-on shot, get the quarter shot, you know. So I usually try to post multiple angles of the cars that I decide to shoot, you know.
Right.
So it would appear that you're going to have about maybe 30 cars.
Probably about 30 cars, different angles for each. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
That sounds more manageable.
Yeah, it does.
Well, thanks a lot for
Oh,
your
no problem.
time and good luck. It's always
Appreciate
fun
it.
talking to someone who's doing this.
Hey, thank you very much.
Research and development for Mazda. And he's going to tell us a little bit about the latest creation, the Calle concept.
All right, so the Kai concept was originally debuted in the Tokyo Motor Show this year, just this year, and we brought it over to the New York Auto Show to show our audience and our potential customers. Now, the Kai concept is really this embodiment of our next evolution of Kodo design. And basically, Mazda's design philosophy is this very simplistic, very natural flowing lines, and that's why we put it up on the stand with the lights on it. You know, as you watch the lights dance over the surfaces, you see the complexity and all these very finite, minute details. And we're not, that's our expression of design. It's not these big, hard angles, look at me, but it's this very subtle, restrained, but powerful beauty, as you can see from the Kai concept. And so this is the next evolution of our design philosophy that you currently see in the current generation Mazda Miatas, or the new Mazda 6. And this will be this type of design philosophy will be showing up in our next generation cars coming out somewhere around 2019. Now this is a concept, so this is a exaggerated form, but the scoops, the shouts, just the simplicity.
It's pretty difficult to describe what it looks like,
Mm-hmm.
but it has, like you said, it has kind of like indented cheeks, like they're sucked in on the side by the doors. It has kind of like a sloping, but it's a hatchback, right? A sloping front, but it's a little bit of a hatchback, and it's a 4-door. But if you look at it briefly, you don't even notice. It looks like a 2-door.
It looks like a 2-door. We put really large C-pillars at the rear of the vehicle, so it makes it look even more sporty. It has this big rear haunches on it.
Right.
And so that's this aggressive concept, and this is to fit the new the C segment market. You know, so it's an indication of things to come. And I think more than anything else, it's just this restrained beauty that we have, and I really encourage all the listeners to take a look at it online to see what it looks like, and see how the light plays across all the surfaces.
No, looking at the body, that's one aspect that we can appreciate. Now, what's happening under the hood?
Well, again, this is a concept car, so really what the mechanicals underneath the hood isn't very specific. But going into future generation of cars, it will potentially have a variety of powertrains, including our new Skyactiv X engine, which is this very advanced, kind of like the holy grail of gasoline combustion engines.
Yeah.
I have another question concerning the rotary engine, which when it came out was revolutionary and probably still is. Now, you guys have the patent for this. However, you're not putting it out there anymore.
Right, and so the rotary engine has, it's a, how do I say this? In a way, we have to build our engines for the world market, right? And if for all different areas of the world, there's different requirements, emissions, fuel consumption, and this and that. So as a small company, we need to build our engines so that it could fit all over the world. It's useful all over the world. Now, Mazda as a brand is committed to the rotary engine still. And although we don't want to talk about future products, we will say that we're still committed to it. We're still looking at ways that we can apply it, whether it be in the traditional sports car concept or in other applications that we can't really name right now. But we are still very much committed to the rotary. But I think the bigger story beyond just the rotary is that we're pioneers in technology, and the Skyactiv X display over there is actually, it's a similar breakthrough in engine technology as the rotary was when it was first introduced in the RX, in the Cosmo in Japan. So when appropriate, we will launch the technologies, but we're always trying to find groundbreaking ways to be the avant-garde.
Okay. Going back to your concept car, what's the name of it again?
It's the Calle concept,
Calle.
right?
Yeah, I saw the little thing on it on the internet, but it looks great. Would this possibly be a convertible too? It would look good as a convertible.
It's just the concept, but it really indicates
because the lines coming
right
from the hood go straight back to the back, and you know what I mean. It looks like it would work well.
So I think this design language
so good with the convertibles. I mean, your little roadsters.
Right.
Your
It will translate to the next generation of vehicles.
Yeah.
So these lines, these slopes will show up, and I think when appropriate for the platform, they will probably come out with something that potentially is a convertible for that.
Now, I'm curious, as a concept car, you're looking at everything that's moving on four wheels. Now, electric is a big push.
Yeah.
Does that factor into this vehicle at all?
Again, the concept doesn't really reflect a production vehicle per se. This is actually very close to a production concept. But when it comes to electrification, Mazda is still working on it. And I think our belief is that from a design language, we want to separate out when you're on the road in an electric car, you want to stand out as something different. Right? You want people to see you and know that, oh, this is an electric car. So potentially from a design standpoint, we might have a different design language or a more aggressive version or more showy perspective. But it still follows...
model number or something like
right,
that.
model number and just how it expresses itself. It's still fundamentally this restrained, smooth, but aggressive design that we have, but it might show more aggressive features in other ways. It's hard to talk about it without images or without on audio.
One of the things I noticed right off the bat that seems quite revolutionary is the fact that the side mirrors would apparently be some form of camera lens.
Yeah. I think in all concepts we really want to by reducing down the portions and making things like very small. This concept would obviously employ some type of rear camera and displays to show that. Now, again, it is it concept, and the huge wheels, the very large protruding fenders, and the small features like the mirrors and all that might not make it to a full production state, but it is the overall design language that we're trying to push here.
Yeah, and the front end is looks like it's kind of got that cat look with the thin eyes. It's looking out at you or a viper or something like that. It's very it's kind of very aggressive looking front end, and then the back is a little bit kinder.
I think
Interesting.
you caught on very well, because actually when we start these designs, the designers always start with this pure shape, and you can see it in some of these videos floating around here, but it's not a shape of a car, it's actually just a pure shape. And our designers wanted to look at something in the natural world, like a cheetah, crouched, ready to pounce. And so you see these very large features like the rear legs ready to go, but it's got this sleek, laid down look that it's ready to fly off. And
especially from the front. It's
So a lot of the inspirations are shapes in motion, if not animals in the natural world, and they put these shapes and then they translate it into that. I mean, you'll see that in this Miata here already. Right. It already has these protruding fenders, pouncing look, and it's got the eyes. It's very focused.
Is this the new one?
This is the current generation Miata. It's a 2018 model.
What happened to your other one? I interviewed the guy last year. I really like the look of the other one, last year's
it's
model.
The same car. We offer it both in a soft top and a retractable fastback. So you
still have the fastback.
Right, the fastback is available, and the car originally, as you mentioned, you originally had a Miata.
Yeah.
The car originally is for the total open air soft top people. But we also realized that, the car is sporty enough that there's some guys that want a hard top or even want these fastbacks with these large buttresses behind them.
Well, it's safer too.
Yeah, so it's just different options for different people, and a lot of people are either love the soft top or love the hard top, retractable hard top version, or hate the other one. We want to give the solution for everybody.
You don't have the snap-on hard top though. You're not coming out with that
Currently we don't have accessories for the snap-on hard top like the original Miata does.
That.
Yeah.
But you're not adding any weight. It looks a little heavier, but you're not adding any weight or anything.
No, not really. The colors and all that, I think the top is a new option color.
Yeah.
The retractable hard top is 100 pounds heavier, just because there's a lot more bits and pieces to be moving around.
In there,
yeah, but I mean,
you can still get it manual though.
Only this one comes in manual. Manual top, you mean, or manual transmission?
Manual top.
Manual top. And the retractable hard top is electric actuated, because it actually kind of, the trunk opens and everything hides inside the trunk a little bit and comes back down. Yeah. And I think when you're talking about weight, really the cool thing about this car weighs the same thing as your original 1989 Miata.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you concerning the genesis of this car, because this seems like
The Miata,
it started with RX-7.
RX-7 has a very high pillar in our history. Currently, we're not making that, but we know that the general appeal of the Miata overall to everybody is very much universal. So there's a lot of guys making sports cars, very expensive sports cars for that matter, but not many people making convertibles, a little less very affordable and fun to drive, relatable convertibles. So we wanted to embody the sports car element, but we didn't want it to take it over the top, So it's still a very elegant shaped, very simple, but it's functionally great.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have the other version here, because that looks pretty different from this one.
I think I'm sure when the public day comes, we're going to bring in more cars. Right now, we have all the space for the press conference later. Right. Excuse me. I'm sure we're going to bring an RF, because all the kids love to play with that.
Versions, like you're saying, that people can go with on it, which is what I liked about it too. Just deciding on which one. Yeah. And the RX-7, that was. You changed the design in that very last design with the twin turbo. You'll still probably see them downstairs. People still like to trick them out. So you have to put some thought if you want to bring that back in. Yeah.
That design is quite timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I was saying is that it seems to me like this is the replacement to the RX-7, because you're not bringing the RX-7 back. It doesn't exist anymore in the lineup.
Right, it's not in the lineup.
This is the product.
We're still committed to the Rotary, and we believe when the time and the place comes, when it's appropriate, we will consider bringing back a more pure form of the sports car. As engineers, we all love it. We want to do it, but it has to make sense, right? Yeah. It has to make sense to be able to sell, and people want to buy it.
Yeah, the longer you wait, the more appetite will grow for it. So.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, thank you for spending this time with us.
All right, excellent. Thank you
very
guys.
Enjoy
much.
the show.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Great. You're listening to the UnCommonCore podcast, episode 26, the New York Auto Show 2018, Part 1. I'm Tom Howell. Congratulations are due to the Ocean Cleanup for a successful and historic launch of System 1 in San Francisco. I'd like to remind everyone to follow the Ocean Cleanup on their favorite social media channel. There are many ways to help and get involved in ridding our oceans of plastic. Just go to theoceancleanup.com. That's theoceancleanup.com. If you'd like to help this podcast, there are 3 ways to do so. You can do it directly by being a patron at www.patreon.com/UCC podcast. That's patreon.com/UCC podcast. Or you can buy some merchandise at hugthepug.com. That's www.hugthepug.com. Alternatively, you can advertise at advertisecast.com/1306. That's advertisecast.com/1306. If you missed any of that, you can find it on our webpage at www.uncommoncorepodcast.com or www.uccpodcast.com. Don't forget our YouTube channel at uncommoncorevideo.com, where you can see playlists from the people we interviewed in each episode. And now, without further ado, here's more from the New York Auto Show with special guest Conrad Bradford.
Hello, I'm with Maria Rodriguez over here at Jaguar's booth, and we would like to know a little bit more about what's happening. You've got some exciting models here, Maria, and maybe you could fill us in on where your focus is this year.
Yeah. So the big focus for Jaguar and Land Rover for 2018-2019 model year is electrification and alternative powertrains. So this year what we have on our stand for the first time is our production Jaguar I-Pace, which is a fully electric, battery electric vehicle with an estimated range of 240 miles.
Now that's exciting. Now, will you be able to tap into, let's say, Tesla's network? Is that a possibility, or are you going to have a separate network across the country?
So Tesla uses a proprietary system. Their supercharging system is only compatible with their vehicles. However, we are going to have a partner that is nationwide, a very large charging partner. We haven't announced who that is yet, so watch the space. It's coming.
That's going to be important, as you know. Now, the top-of-the-line product seems to be the one behind us here. That's the F-Type.
Mm-hmm.
And the F-Type is priced at somewhere around $120,000, $130,000. Now, that's quite a price tag. Have you seen, what's the response been like to this car?
So, as far as the price, I just want to touch on that quickly. So the model we have in front of us is the F-Type SVR, which is the top level. So it's the top of the line. It's 122, you're correct. However, the F-Type, we do offer it with a 4-cylinder. So our entry into this car is $60,000. So you can get an F-Type all the way from 60 to 122, depending on what you're looking for. So if you want to save on fuel, or if you want to have a lower entry price, you can start with the 60 grand one, or you can walk up to a V6 manual, V8. This big, or top of the line, I should say, F-Type SVR. So there's a price point for everyone here.
Wow, well, that's really interesting. Now, I'm curious, I would imagine it comes in automatic as well as standard. Mm-hmm. Would you have any idea what percentage are coming out that are standard?
Yeah, so when we first launched the standard F-Type, that was, what model year was that? That was 17 model year. So at that model year, we had a very high take rate. Everyone was waiting for it. Everyone was excited. So we had about 13 to 15%. We're seeing that number lower now.
Okay, 13 to 15% were buying manuals.
Manual across the entire lineup in the entry to that. We're seeing that number dropping slightly, but we do see a good take on the car. So it's something we do want to offer. We want to continue to offer that engaging drive for people.
No, I was surprised personally when I saw that Jaguar was heading into the electric car category.
Yes.
Because Jaguar has had a reputation, I think many people know, that it's not always been the most reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're moving into an area that's so new and still unchallenged, how are people receiving the electric lineup?
Yeah, I think that our history does have some tarnishes in it. So yes, people do think of the Jaguar brand, and they do think of some issues that we had previously. We've changed that. So we've been ranked number one in ISG initial reports for our products. We are offering a whole new warranty package as well, a very competitive best-in-class warranty in the premium luxury sector, which also offers 5 years, 60,000 miles of complimentary maintenance and roadside assistance and things like that. So we are showing people you can trust us. We're investing in our cars, so you should invest in them too. And I think people are believing in that mission now, and so they're accepting, okay, we're changing, we're here now, and we're ready to compete.
My name is Conrad Bradford, and I'm with UnCommonCore, and we are here at the Karma car display, and I'm with
Lacey.
Hi, Lacey. Amazing looking car. You mentioned to me that it's a hybrid.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit more about the concept behind this type of a car.
It is a plug-in hybrid, a series in particular. So what's different about it is that it has a 2-liter 4-cylinder up front, and that's going to generate more energy for your battery, which is a 20.8 kilowatt-hour battery that attaches to 2 electric motors over the rear wheels, which is going to be what's driving the vehicle at all times. So you get 50 miles of all-electric range and 250 on the fuel reserve.
So it has quite a cost-effective approach to using gasoline. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, cost effective and also convenience factor. So the thing about this vehicle is that you don't have to sit at a charging station and worry about charging all the time. You can just stop at a gas station and refuel and extend your range. So if you want to go on a long trip, you can do that with ease and stop 90 seconds at the gas station and keep going. You don't have to worry about sitting at a charging station to recharge.
No, you mentioned it has a 4-cylinder engine. Mm-hmm. So what type of speed are we talking about, top end?
So in totality, this vehicle has 403 horsepower. You can get it up to 125 miles per hour, 981 pound-feet of torque. So that's really where it shines because it's always driven by those electric motors. So you get instant torque from that. And off the line, you're looking at in sport mode, 5.4 seconds, 0 to 60.
Quick question. The recharger, is it available? Is any gas station? I mean, obviously it's not any gas station. What kind of?
The beauty about this is that you don't have to be restricted to certain charging stations.
Yeah.
It has 3 levels of charging. So level 1, you can just plug in with a 110, and you can right into your wall at home. Yes.
Oh,
so
okay.
that will take a little bit longer. It's a 10-hour charge. If you want to upgrade your charging system, an electrician can come and give you a 240 volt, and you can get this charged in 2.5 hours.
Okay.
If you want,
but it's a regular 240 volt.
Regular 240 volt,
Okay.
Yep. And we have the adapter that comes with the vehicle. You also have DC fast charging capability, which will get the vehicle charged 85% in 24 minutes. So it actually can get a quick boost relatively quickly.
Can you swap out the battery or anything like that?
No, this isn't a swappable because it's in the center of the vehicle. So since it's down that center shaft, it's more about the rigidity and safety of keeping it in that center shaft, and we don't recommend trying to swap it out or anything.
Right. Well, some cars.
Yeah.
So you don't need any special charging station, and it just extends the drive of the car and gives you better gas mileage.
Correct.
So it's just all practical.
That's right. Yeah. So you get 60 mile per gallon equivalent out of the whole system.
Now, I'm kind of curious. I think I see some solar paneling on the roof.
You do. So the solar panel roof is a 200-watt panel. That actually can give you an additional 500 miles over the course of the year. So a nice added bonus to keep you charging throughout the day.
Interesting. Does it also power any lights, radio?
Accessory, yep, exactly. So it not only provides that accessory power, but that mileage on your HV powertrain.
Now, is it possible for that solar panel to charge the batteries?
It does. It charges the batteries, and it'll give you about a mile or 2 a day, depending on your conditions. Better, obviously, if it's full sunlight for a long day, but yeah, it'll still give you additional mileage.
Now, what are we looking at price-wise?
MSRP starts at $130. You can upgrade some aesthetic choices. Otherwise, they come full featured. So you're looking at $140 with every aesthetic upgrade.
Now, when it comes to service, how does that factor into this? Because I would imagine that you don't have every state covered.
Not every state, but we do have a very large dealer network for such limited production and such an exclusive vehicle. So we're coast to coast and some in between. We have dealerships all over the place, and we're continuing to add dealerships very quickly. So keep your eye out in your area. We also have in every major metropolitan a dealership near you.
Now, when it comes to the way these cars are purchased, I would imagine that most of them are leased.
You know what? We've had kind of a mixed response from that. We just launched the lease program at the beginning of the year, so that's still fresh, but a lot of people are starting to take notice to that. It's a $1,300 a month lease for 36 months, so it's a very lucrative deal for the customer to be able to lease a vehicle of this caliber at such a great rate.
And is that a 3-year lease?
3-year, yep.
So one final question. It's a small car company, so the question is, when it comes to research and development, how much emphasis is being placed on the future?
Definitely a lot on the future. We have a lot in the plans to come ahead. I unfortunately can't tell you too much information, but since this is a private investment, instead of being funded by public resources, there's a lot of focus on being able to spend the right money to get the product that we need out on the road for people to drive.
No, is this generation 1, 2, 3?
The very first vehicle that we've come out with, so first generation of the Revero, yep.
Wow. So this is the beginning of the chapter, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
But
Very
congratulations.
exciting.
And
Thank
you're
you.
from where? What country?
It's all built in Southern California, so Moreno Valley
So
is where we
That's the
manufacture.
country you're from. Southern California.
Yeah, it's a country on its own, isn't it? Yeah, right here in the United States.
Okay, I'm Conrad Bradford at the UnCommonCore podcast, and I'm with Michael Baxley at BMW. Michael, great looking lineup for 2018.
Thank you.
We've got some exciting vehicles here.
We do.
Can you tell me anything about the car we're standing in front of? This is a very impressive styled machine.
Yeah, so this is the i8 Coupe. So this is kind of the top of the line electric car that we offer. It's a plug-in hybrid car. And basically this is kind of, if you think of it as a bookend, this is our most high performance electric car that we have. And then the i3S is kind of the other side of it. So you got kind of both ends of the spectrum.
How is the handling on something like this compared to a regular, gas-powered car?
Handling?
Yeah, the handling. I mean, electric cars are a little bit different. The balance and everything, aren't they?
Oh, no. With BMW, it's always a 50-50 weight distribution. Okay. So it handles like a true performance car.
Very, very futuristic styling.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some curves on it that nobody else has matched in the show, that I've seen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you can tell me about the aerodynamic quality of the car that sets it apart? First of all, the speeds on this car are pretty impressive. Can you fill that in on those details?
Yeah, so the coefficient of drag on this is obviously going to be pretty low. They take it and they test it in our facilities in Munich and make sure that it is optimized for basically aero. So this car is also going to be, because it's a plug-in hybrid, they want to focus on efficiency and reduce drag and make sure it's the most efficient that it can be. So it's a solid mixture of performance and efficiency at the same time. It's the best of both worlds. There shouldn't be any problems with this car.
Just real quick, what is the type of charging station? You have a BMW proprietary charging stations? Or?
No, you should be able to use a turbo cord with it. You should be able to plug it into a regular 110 outlet.
Oh, okay. Again,
if
just
you
a
need
110.
I mean, so you can use that or a level 2 or.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's versatile.
Yes.
Okay, you don't have any.
Okay, so now as a hybrid, let me try to understand this. It has electric capability as well as gasoline. The idea is to run the gasoline when the electric is out, or are we charging the electric with the engine? Are we like an alternator situation? How's that really working?
So they run in parallel. So you can have a combination of one or both at the same time. So you can have pure gasoline. It should have an E range on it as well, up to a certain amount of mileage, or a combination where you get e-boost and things like this.
So we're talking about two separate functions. Either you're on electric or you're on gas. I understand that part. But what I'm trying to establish here is, are we increasing the battery capability of the vehicle when we're using the gasoline portion of the vehicle?
So it should actually be the reverse. The battery should increase the capability of the gasoline and when they run together. So you get a combined increase of kind of torque at that point.
Interesting. Now, looking around at all the other car manufacturers here, I think from my perspective, BMW has really been really consistent when it comes to what they believe in, their mission, which is to provide, a really good driving experience. When you move down in value, we're talking about the high end right now, but if we move down the scale to the electric over here, what are we looking at as far as capability of a vehicle like that? What are we talking about 0 to 60 on the smaller, more economical version of an electric vehicle?
So, I mean, when you're talking pure battery, 0 to 60 is obviously always very good, but it's more about the instant feeling of torque that you get with it. So BMW's core ideology is obviously the ultimate driving machine. That's our belief, and that's how we design every one of our cars. So we wanted to infuse that with the iPerformance methodology. So we want to have hybrid, but we want to also promote the performance of these cars. When you drive the i3 and the i3S, the performance is outstanding. You drive this car and you put your foot on the accelerator and it throws you back in the seat. So that instant feeling of torque is something that we're really proud of, and I think it's something unique for our brand.
So my final question for you is, going forward, because everybody at this show has to be thinking outside of the existing box that they're in. I don't see anything on the floor here from BMW that is truly new from last year. Why is that? We're actually in the middle of a product offensive right now. So last year we launched the 5 Series and the 6 Series GT. We have an all-new X4 over there. So that's the second generation of our X4. We launched an X3 last year, and we have a couple cars coming out shortly. So we're right in the middle of it. So
they can't do it every single year.
Yeah. We have an X2 over there that went into production in November and is retailing shortly. So we actually have a lot of new product and even more exciting product coming.
Of course, this is a little off topic, but as you're well aware, Mini is under your umbrella. And I was really impressed to know how much BMW has invested in the plant to make it a better product, and it's so much better than it was. And that speaks well for the fact that you really are trying to build the best vehicle there is on 4 wheels, whatever class of vehicle it is that you're building. So all I can say is keep up the good work, and I hope that the 2018 calendar year is a good one for you and for many others.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for all putting up with us.
You've been listening to the UnCommonCore podcast with Thomas Howell. I'm Satoko Smith. Thank you for listening.